What is going on, people? This is the Tenchi, and this is another episode of On the Brain. Thank you for joining us. Today on the panel, we got some crazy people today. Crypto Nightmare and Cousin Rick. What is up with you guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Nice joining me for yet another episode. So let me tell the people what we're talking about today. We decided to watch the very well done documentary, The Problem with Apu, from True TV, and I just wanted us to give our opinions on it and talk about the subject matter. It's something a little more serious than what we usually do here, but
that won't last long.
But yeah, it seriously won't. I like to do a variety of things here, mostly nerdy, but I also like to get serious input on hard-hitting topics too. And this hits on the subject of race. It hits on the subject of stereotyping in the media, especially if you're a South Asian descent, and a little bit of African descent and whatnot. And really, it hits in all corners if you really think about it. I mean, we love The Simpsons. We've grown up on The Simpsons. It's still going, not as strong as it used to be, but, we still enjoy watching, and we love those characters, and, yeah, we get it. They stereotype everyone, but there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place.
Well, that's exactly my way of looking at it, is that Apu's not the only character that they do this kind of thing to. If you look at the Italian chef, Luigi, I believe is his name, he's an extremely stereotyped Italian character.
Fat Tony.
Fat Tony, the stereotyped mafia boss.
I feel like it's weird too, because the only voice that really didn't get stereotyped is the black characters that are voiced by white dudes on that show. Like, none of them are like, yo, what's going on? Da-da-da. They're like regular, like, why couldn't they just do that with all the other ones too? Like, were they, like, I think they were probably too afraid, excuse me,
To be fair,
to attempt it.
I don't think they actually have a permanent black cast member on
They've never had, like, I feel like...
They have Carl, but he's not...
No, I mean, like...
No. Voice actor.
Like, I want to say the only one that's, like, the only black voice actor that's even been recurring in the past 30 years of the show is Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one that's been up there, like, maybe... with the exception of dude to voice Bleeding Gums Murphy, but even then he was only there till he passed away, so it was like, 3 or 4 episodes or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like their first recurring one was Kevin Michael Richardson, and even that wasn't until, maybe a decade ago at most, not even?
Not even, I think like 5 years ago.
But my thing of looking at it is that it's hard to say that they're being racist specifically towards just one set of people when they're doing it to a handful of others. It's kind of like...
I'm not saying it's all right in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. I'm just saying
It's kind of like with South Park, how everybody's like, oh, South Park is just offending these people. Show me one person that's not offended by something South Park has done. They pretty much set out specifically to offend people.
And also to raise awareness of it, too. I'm not a big fan of South Park. I've said that many times, but at the same time, I understand what they do and how they do it. I mean, sometimes the best way to reach people is to put it out there in their face. But the point is with the documentary, it not only showed you the stereotyping in The Simpsons, but also what's still going on in mainstream media today.
Not only that, but who's been affected in the past and in the present.
Exactly.
Well, another thing you got to look at is that the character of Apu was introduced, I think, all the way back as early as the first season. I think actually the end of the first season, because I remember the first episode of Sideshow Bob was, I think, the episode where Apu appeared. So you're looking at way back in 1989. There wasn't all this kind of hatred towards the Muslim race or the Middle Eastern people as there has been in recent years.
Apu is neither, though.
Yeah, he's South Asian. And he's Indian. And that's...
Well, there wasn't that kind of hatred towards people of that culture as there has been since...
There is no hatred towards that culture.
I mean...
Well, there is some...
Well, there's just ignorant people that...
You don't have to hate... You don't have to hate something to be ignorant of something.
Yeah.
Ignorance just means you don't know.
But the point I'm getting at it is that I don't think that they set out to say, it'll be funny if we make this character have this kind of accent. I think...
Oh, no, continue.
I think for them it wasn't like, this could be offensive to people, but who cares? It's funny. I think it was more like they just kind of went with it to do it, and they didn't think that it was going to be offensive to anyone.
But they even showed it in the documentary where it was like he was never even supposed to be recurring. He was just a character that was said name was Cashier.
Yeah, kind of like Milhouse. Milhouse was never supposed to be more than a one-shot character.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying about what's called is that there was no specific, this cashier is supposed to be like that. That was just a voice that Hank Azaria did, and then they just fucking ran with it.
Because they got laughs in the room. Because you got laughs in the room. Now,
but what I'm saying is I don't think that he set out to do it just because he thought people were going to be offensive or that he was going to create some kind of a upstir about doing the voice, being like, oh, if I sound like this, people are going to get offended, but it'll be funny. I think he just thought, I think from his mind, it was just, this is a voice. People find it funny. I'm going to do it.
well, okay. Now that's interesting because if you remember one part of the interviews, they got one of the writers of The Simpsons to come up and talk to the comedian doing this, and he said, well, from his perspective, because he could only speak from his perspective, there are tons of voices that white people, he specifically said, white people find funny. He didn't say, we didn't say this type of people. He said specifically white people. And most of the time, when you're in a environment where it's mostly just one group of people doing it, in this case, mostly white people, and they only have a certain degree of what they think a person of another ethnicity is going to be like, they're gonna run with it. If he hadn't done the accent in that way, then Apu would not sound the way he does. Now, I think what it is they were just in it for a laugh. It doesn't make it right, but at the same time, it's like, it's really hard to think about it then versus now, because a lot of people didn't speak.
Times are very different now.
Well, but people weren't speaking up, and those who were, they were being ignored. To this day, I still get, because of the way I sound, I still get stereotyped all the time from
You and me both.
From the perspective of who I think are my peers. When I was a kid, speaking the way I do, even to now, and they give us the most condescending compliments. I know that they're supposed to be compliments, right? But when you hear something like,
it's a backhanded compliment.
You speak so well.
Yeah.
You sound so clear. And I asked someone, why do you, and this is coming from the older crowd, you know what I'm saying? They've been through all this before. But they say, because kids today, or your generation, usually they're expecting me to speak slang. They're
accent.
Expecting me to speak with an accent. With, and when I was in high school, I would get that from the kids because I wasn't doing or sounding the way they thought that I should. And when you're a kid, it's sad, but the only difference is between kids and adults is kids are still finding these things out. They
probably don't understand that they're being
exactly,
assholes about it. Kids don't. Well, I guess I can say I don't either. But kids don't have censorship. When a kid says something like oh, you don't sound like this kind of person, they're not understanding how it could be offensive to somebody. They're just thinking that that's what they're saying, and that's what they're saying. They don't understand that somebody might be offended by it.
But when you're an adult, you should know better.
I feel like late teens to adult, you should know, when it comes to certain things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2008. It's about to be 2018, and the race issue never went away.
To be fair, look at who we have as a president, though.
But even even before
Cheeto in the world.
But here's the thing: even before Trump, this was going on. Okay,
Dude, how do you I'm a white girl, and I've experienced racism.
Yeah, everybody has in some way, shape, or form.
Well,
no,
This person laughed it off, and it was literally I made a comment about I know how to pick locks as a kid and would pick my dad's lock for shits and giggles. And she called me a shyster.
You're also Jewish.
I am. And I sat there utterly stunned. Shyster, for anyone wondering, there's a couple of different terms. the most basic term is a German meaning of shitbag, but it's been later adapted to the Jewish people that they will swindle you and they will steal your money. And I hear time and time again, where's your Jew gold? Oh, well, you run the media. And this person looked at me, and for picking a lock, she called me that. And it's like, okay, I get right off the bat you're saying something stupid and racist. But if you're going to say it, use it in the right fucking context.
And I don't really.
I had no Jewish stereotype.
I didn't know either. I could see rogue, I could see thief, but Jesus
I
fuck.
see lawyer like something,
Lawyer? No, I've never seen a lawyer. Well, I've seen
Lawyers get referred to as shysters all the time now.
Yeah. Oh well, Paul Heyman. I was watching the Paul Heyman documentary with my boyfriend. And I was terrified he was going to say that. I'm like, oh please no, please don't say it.
I had no idea that term was even directed towards a specific group of people. I just thought it was a term.
I've heard it a ton, and she chuckled at it after she said it, and I remember getting to the car with my boyfriend and just bawling my eyes out. And then this person comes up to me and goes, I'm not racist. What I said wasn't racist.
Ugh, those are the people that are the most racist.
I'm like, lady, you don't know dick.
But back on the topic of the documentary, my main point is that I honestly don't feel that there was a maliciousness behind his choice of that voice.
Oh no.
No,
I don't think it was something that he set out doing that a voice. I don't think he even thought that anybody would be slightly offended, but I thought I think he might have.
But nobody goes into it thinking that they're going to offend somebody.
I think he might have thought, perhaps he might have thought that even the people of that it was kind of, I guess you could say, a mockery of, that they might have appreciated the satire of it.
Well, he also mentioned that he was copying someone.
Exactly.
Yeah, he did say that he was basically impersonating somebody.
But that doesn't make it all right.
No, we're not saying it does. It does.
But my bottom line is I don't feel like there was any malicious intent in his choice of
voice. There wasn't, but it's just he should have really thought about it before.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, even before that was a character, there was still a stereotype that Indians are, every corner store. It's all you're going to see is
do you guys
especially now, because everybody always. There was when the Simpsons movie came out. Do you guys remember they transformed a bunch of 7-Elevens into Quickie Marts?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they tried to tell the employees to wear Apu name tags, and to tell the customers you have to say thank you, come again.
Well, if you guys don't remember, do you remember the movie? I think it was like The Mystery Men or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Wasn't Hank Azaria in it? And he was the Swami or something, and
he was Blue Raja.
And he had that accent.
No, he had a British accent. He wasn't doing the. No, he was.
He's a man of many voices and many accents.
Yeah, he was doing a British accent.
He's a very talented man. And I will say they have used Apu for a few good things, but again, a few like really stereotypical things, like the episode where they were going to deport him, and here he is, like suddenly throwing away his entire rich heritage to not be deported because he loves this country. And, hearing him force himself to use a normal accent. But then there's also, like...
Yeah, that was one of the older episodes.
Yeah, but I think it was before that, or it might have been after, the episode where he lost his job.
Yeah,
and then he went to the Quickie Mart headquarters. That was
very racist.
That was
insanely racist.
The train and the...
Yeah,
and that's also the episode where they introduced Manjula. Well,
to be fair, though, those things aren't things that were ideas of Hank Azaria. He just voices.
No.
But at the same time, you could
something you got to pin on the writers.
Well, we can pin all of we can pin all of this on the writers except for the voice he chose to use.
Yeah.
Because you can also go as far as to say there was a movie called The Love Guru with Mike Myers, and he used the
they explained it but he wasn't doing brown face. He was just a white kid that grew up around it. That's why he had the accent.
That could be like, what if, like, say, I don't know, I'm 5 years old and my dad suddenly his job gets transferred over to India.
Yep.
I could end up with that accent. Am I being racist?
No, it's just that's what you're around.
That's what you're around.
For a worse example, let's go with Short Circuit 2, where there was a white actor portraying an Indian in that movie.
Right.
I now pronounce you Billy and Chuck. Wasn't Mickey Rooney supposed to be an Asian dude?
Mickey Rooney. Really?
I believe so. I'm not.
that was-
I
You
probably.
mean Rob Schneider?
Rob Schneider.
Oh, was it? Why
Rob
not?
Schneider. No,
But
because
he
Mickey.
is Asian, so I mean, he's Filipino or some such thing.
Yes?
Yeah.
Dude.
didn't know
Well,
that.
no, I know Mickey Rooney
Rob
has done
Schneider?
it.
No, Mickey Rooney was in
He was in what was it?
Breakfast
at Tiffany's.
And he was a racist.
And he did.
very racist. That
He
was,
offended. He offended a
he said the whole
whole.
continent.
Man, it was horrible, and I've seen that movie. They gave him the buck teeth.
Yo,
They
he
gave
was
him the
very
glasses,
right.
the
I probably got
stereotypical broken English, all of that.
But no, I know what you're talking about because he was a minister in that movie too. But he's like Filipino. I mean, granted, you can't just because you are doesn't mean you have to portray the stereotype. But it wasn't as bad
Well, I'm
as.
Irish. Does that mean I can go pretend to get shit faced all the time?
That's on you.
That's on
that
you.
is not exclusive to
no,
Irish.
that is not exclusive to Irish. Even
No,
though I have talked to Irish people, they will admit to some will admit to that. Like I don't like stereotyping. Like I never understood the whole Italians eat a lot
Well,
until
Let's
I
also
was.
just say accents are fun to do.
Well, let's actually go around the room since we're all multicultural and diverse.
Yeah.
We don't. But me and Kyle, our family, we don't really have a stereotype. I mean, well,
On the Cape Verdean side,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. On the Afro American side, there's a bunch.
well, yeah.
But
Do you guys have any of those stereotypes? Do you show any of those characteristics?
do we show any of the characteristics? Let's see.
I sure as shit don't because I don't care about sports.
Neither do I.
Grape soda is like just sugar in a can to me.
Like,
You're white, Jeff. Hush. You'll get your turn next.
Like, what other? I mean, I'm average as fuck.
Oh no!
We don't need to know that one.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing. We do speak some slang.
Well, yeah, that's a given.
But who
No, but
doesn't
it's not.
have? Who doesn't have some sort of slang or some sort of short talk in their culture? What are you talking about?
I'm Irish and cunt gets flown around really easily.
Yeah.
So that one is a huge part of my vocabulary. And we had on Christmas my mom walking around the house, that fucking cunt, that cunt.
is that even slang?
That's not
That's not
exclusive
slang,
to
that's
you.
just like you to say.
No, that's
No,
a
in
custom.
Ireland and England, they like, hey, what's up, Mike?
And,
Well, yeah, I know that, but
So,
I'm saying
yeah.
that doesn't. That's
We
that's
use
a
that
word
slang.
that I use that word a lot, like
I-
more than I
I
probably
don't
should.
no, but okay. So as far as we go, like I'm black. I do like fried chicken.
But you know what? Everybody likes fried chicken.
Everybody,
I like fried
every
chicken
other
and
person
I'm white.
likes fried chicken. I do like my watermelon.
I like watermelon.
Me too.
I
It's
stopped
so
drinking.
good.
I stopped drinking Kool-Aid years ago. Now I don't know where that
That's
came
disgusting.
from.
That-
Kool-Aid because it was such a cheap thing. It was easier for people in the projects to get. That's why that Kool-Aid stereotype came about.
It came
Look,
a boot.
Kool-Aid is disgusting.
It is. It's
literally-
diabetes in a
It's
bottle.
food coloring in water.
And sugar.
Is what it is.
Half a bottle.
Well, not so much anymore. I mean, they are flavored.
I mean,
now.
back in the day when they had those cool ones with the twist off tops,
those
Oh.
were still flavored. I remember
those,
being
those were
little.
good.
Those
but
would cut your mouth up, though.
It is liquefied sugar.
But
Capri Sun was better.
if you could get it
No,
open.
the Kool-Aid jam
If you-
was shit.
No, I gotta go with Kyle. Jeff. Capri Suns were the shit.
Capri
like,
Sun
I'm
with the straw in the
still kind of
package,
mad
they
to
were
this
better.
day. Like they don't sell just that in like a jug. You know?
Well, all right, Jeff, you're a bunch of shit. What about you? Do you apologize all the time?
Yeah.
For your privilege.
No.
sorry.
Canadians apologize.
I'm
Oh.
sorry I apologize so much.
Well, what about your other nationalities? You're French. Do
I am part French.
Do you like to chill out in cafes and smoke a cigarette?
I do not laugh with the
Do you eat frog legs?
No. Yeah, I don't eat anything.
Have you ever?
No
eaten-
frogs, no
Did you
snails.
No
oppose the
snails.
war?
No, he ran from the war.
No frogs, no snails. I don't do the stereotyped laugh.
Are you a big?
I'm not a wine drinker.
Do you smoke? In
I
like
have had
silhouettes
wine,
and
but
stuff?
I don't like it. I don't smoke neither cigarettes nor cigars.
Where do
nor
you
anything
stand
with
on
drugs.
baguettes and in bicycle carriages?
Baguettes are just bread, so they're okay.
Wait a minute. I gotta ask you a question. Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast. Okay.
Refresh my memory because
The
He was the candlestick.
Okay.
The only one in that entire movie with a French accent. Well, no, actually, it was him and the feather duster.
Feather Duster, yeah.
They were the only two with the French accent. You were supposed to be in France. Do you find anything that Disney has ever done offensive in any way?
Hello, can we talk about Dumbo? I mean, for all them racist ass crows.
No, yo, you know what the leader's name was? Jim.
Oh God!
His name was Jim.
Well, actually, Disney hated the Jews.
Oh,
That's
dude.
yeah.
Where the heck did that come from?
But he was a known anti-Semite.
For real?
Yes.
I just thought it was something that Family Guy made up.
No.
Oh, man.
He hated the Jews.
Oh,
I
man.
personally am not really offended by anything racially ever.
Well, let's do
Well,
mine.
because everything was worked in your favor, white man.
Well, let's do mine. Nice. Let's do my little hodgepodge. I'm
Yeah.
Italian, I'm Irish, I'm Russian, I'm Polish, I'm Scottish, I'm French, I am Austrian, and I am Jewish.
So you're white.
I am.
No, there are
Every
black Jews out there. There are black Italians. There are black everything. You're also Irish, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't drink whiskey.
You don't drink. You
I
like you don't
period.
drink. So.
But I am Italian. I can cook.
How do you feel about potatoes?
I fucking love French fries.
do you eat?
Mashed potatoes are
Yum.
okay, but only if you put gravy or butter on them.
Ew! Not gravy, butter.
No, I can do both. I like both.
I like gravy on my meat.
I would prefer butter on it.
Okay, now what else?
We are
you
taking
down?
this way off topic
Jesus
though.
Christ.
Okay, because you just went through a laundry list of
I am
like
Italian.
all of Europe.
I'm Italian. I am Russian.
Can you
Okay.
list what you aren't? That might be a little shorter.
Yeah.
I am Italian. I am Irish. I am Russian. I am Polish. I am German. No, I'm
So
not
how do you
German.
feel about that submarine with the screen door? And your
Well, I don't-
astronaut that went to the moon and the sun at night.
Have you watched Crisis on Earth X yet?
I have not.
You
I
might
also-
be
but-
offended by it as a Jew.
But I am very frugal. I will admit that, but that's just because I'm on my own. And I
Please,
have
I'm frugal
expensive
too.
tastes.
I am not even
I
a
don't
little.
No.
I'm not even a little bit
You haven't seen
Jewish.
my Magical Girl collection.
Your what?
My Magical Girl collection.
What's the magical girl?
There's
Anime-
nothing.
Anime
Magical
genre.
Sailor Moon.
Anime
Oh.
genre.
There is nothing wrong with being financially frugal. I am gonna say I'm white. I'm not Jewish. I'm a Christian, and I don't like to spend my money because it's hard enough to make my money.
By the way, also,
Because
You're just trying to
all
be
the-
smart
all
with
the
your money,
bills
dude.
you get, all the bills you get, pretty much my whole check is gone on my bills.
Also,
so I don't find myself wanting to run out there and be like, I gotta buy this, I gotta buy that, I gotta buy this. I find
Oh,
myself.
yeah, like that's just a dirty Jewish stereotype.
Yeah.
well, also, I would like to say I do not have sex through a sheet. I don't know how that got started.
Yeah, that's a really weird thing.
What
the heck?
I remember making a joke about it the other day.
Yeah,
though.
like
But
Wait, I
where
did
did
not.
that come from?
I don't know.
I didn't catch that. What was that?
Okay, there's a Jewish stereotype or whatever that because they can't do certain things, they can only do it through a hole in a sheet.
I'm going to hell.
Where the heck did that
Them
come
sheet
from?
I don't know.
glory
Yeah, like
hole?
a hole in a sheet. Like you can do whatever as long as you're doing it through a hole in a sheet.
Okay, who saw the Family Guy episode where they're like, I'm watching Jewish
I don't
porn
think that's
and
how a
some-
condom works.
I didn't get it. I got it from Upright Citizens.
No, no, it was like, I have an apartment with central air conditioner. Air conditioner, like, what the fuck?
And then
I
she's like,
think-
"Oh,
I
we're
think
gonna
we've
have
derailed
sex
this
at
pretty
some
far
point."
off.
Say that again.
I think we've derailed this.
No, we are still talking
Actually,
about
We're
stereotypes.
still talking. Yeah, we're just.
But
It's
okay,
like,
all
I
right.
will say
So
I'm Italian, I cook, but I'm not a part of the mob.
that sounds like something somebody in the mob would say though.
I'm Russian, I don't drink. I'm not a part of that mob either.
Sure. 'Cause
you
it's
have
super
you
cool.
have gotten drunk before.
Are you sure you're
Yeah,
not part
put
of the
someone in
Russian
the back of the
mafia?
head.
Because I got a few favors I could use.
There you go.
I don't know. It
No.
sounds like something somebody in the mob would say though.
But okay, but
Oh yeah, I
go
did
ahead.
get drunk and I punched someone in the back of the head.
There's the Irish.
Was that before or after you fell out the car?
Before. Oh, the drunken Olympics, drunken Olympics. And I'm a lightweight, so that really sucks because the French, the Italian, the Irish, and the Russian, I should be getting shit faced.
You should have the tolerance of like a fucking 5,000.
I had
Oh, man,
two
like-
snake bites and 2 rum mixers. I stole someone's hat, punched him in the back of the head, passed out in the car, fell out of the car, got dropped off on my couch, threw up on my floor, and woke up the next morning in the vomit.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's why she does not drink today.
No, I also I got drunk on my 21st birthday. I can do my eyeliner really good when I'm drunk.
Do you do the clown lipstick?
Left or right for everyone. Giving the guys the finger. I was stupid and wanted to try to get back with my ex, and so I invited him up to come hang out with us. We were staying at a hotel. As he comes in, I have to kick the door shut because I have to vomit. Which, by the way, you don't, when you're turning 21, have cat ears and a leash on because they don't realize that you're 21. And my first drink was recommended to me by a Jedi.
Nice.
Hold on, we're not gonna skip over that
I
cat
was a-
ears and leash thing.
I was a cat girl because my friend ruined my costume by accident.
Were you asked to be one with the Force?
No, he asked me. He recommended a snake
Did
bite.
he use too much force?
Fucking Jeff.
I'm just saying, Jeff, the only way...
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
No, dude, I look like a kid and it really sucks. But, yeah.
Too early, you did.
And now we wonder... And now our questions are answered why Jeff's a virgin. Came too early, he did.
Oh no. There is going to be some woman out there that is going to love his disgusting sense of humor.
And not to see him as a kid brother.
Man alive.
No. Oh, no.
You never know what's gonna come out of my mouth.
I got...
Phrasing.
No. I
What's gonna
know.
go in it?
I got another one.
Pizza?
I got another one.
Pizza goes in everybody's mouth.
Yeah.
We're black, but we don't have a bunch of kids or a giant child support bill. Or anything like that.
We're not that stereotypical.
No, we're not that stereotypical. We do love hip-hop, though.
Yeah.
Wait,
that's like the most stereotypical thing about
But we also love rock music, so that's also another...
But
I
wasn't rock music supposedly created by
Not
Africans?
supposedly it was.
It was. Most music was. But
Okay, I'm Irish and I'm dating an Irish man. We do not have a shit ton of kids.
you
You're
guys
also
don't...
not Catholic though.
Do you have a pot of gold in your backyard?
I wish. Dude, I would have a Switch, a PlayStation. I would have a bigger apartment if I had a pot of gold in my
That sounds
backyard.
like just. I swear, you keep saying these things that sound like people that have these things would say.
So recently, Hank Azaria actually did come out and say that he watched the documentary, and he says that it's a lot to take in. He enjoyed it, but he says it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. Do you think he was? What do you think? Do you think he was just ducking not to actually appear on the documentary, other than some archival
That's
footage?
something I want to say is that he didn't. It kind of sucked that he didn't appear on the
should've,
documentary.
but-
I wish he would have, but I can at the same time kind of understand where he was coming from of not wanting to seem like he's speaking on behalf of either the producers, the writers, or just Fox in general.
But he should have just spoken for himself. He didn't have to. He should have just had a disclaimer like this isn't for them. This is how.
Yeah,
I
kind of
feel.
like in the commentaries for DVDs. Whenever you load up a DVD, it's the viewpoints of these people do not express the viewpoints of blah blah
Exactly.
blah.
And it's
could've
also, he was afraid that, he could have edited it so it made him sound
But
like,
he wouldn't have done
He
that.
wasn't gonna-
Yeah, but for you gotta admit, for all Hank Azaria knew, he could have done that.
And not
Hank
only
Azaria
that,
is not familiar with this guy. For all he knew, he could have cut and spliced and made Hank Azaria sound like
But
a
he
complete
doesn't.
asshole.
He doesn't seem like the type of guy that would have done something.
Yeah.
like
But here's the
Especially
thing.
given the subject.
and not only
Yeah.
that, let's face it, The Simpsons is a fucking gravy train. If I was on there, I would probably be a very bad Jewish stereotype just for that kind of money.
Like I feel like even the Jewish characters up there aren't well, except for Rabbi Krusty. But even that he's voiced by a Jewish actor. But even then, like look at her, Krusty. He is the farthest thing from a Jewish stereotype.
Yeah, like remember, he's like, oh, it turns out I'm
Didn't
not a self-hating Jew, I'm just a plain old anti-Semite.
Yeah.
We have much to discuss.
Yeah.
Didn't he basically turn his back on Judaism though?
It wasn't that he turned his
'Cause
back
they
on
had
it.
like an origin to him where.
His father disowned him because he didn't want him to be a clown. He wanted him to be a rabbi.
Rabbi.
Yeah, but didn't he basically after that like he founded a restaurant of hamburgers. He eats the hamburgers too.
No, he doesn't. He spits them out.
There's been many a time where he's like, I can't believe people are eating this type of shit.
I
It's
could have
why-
sworn it was
what about the
basically said
Crustios?
that he turned away
Oh, the
from
Crustios
Judaism
with
when
the
he got
blade
his-
in
Jagged
them?
metal spear.
Crustio, it's a normal Crustio. It's poison.
Oh man.
Yeah, that just sounded
I
more like
remember
John Panette, but
But
precious.
no, John Panette was a.
oh, I remember that.
Like when it comes to that show, there's like, yeah, they do touch on the stereotypes, but then they don't.
Well, it's like they have a lot of opportunities with.
I think they're equal opportunity with what.
Well, no,
they
they could explore Apu's history and not make it beyond racist.
Well, they
Or not
did, like,
make it
he came
stereotypical.
here from India
They had-
to like.
You also got
He was like going to MIT or some such shit,
Well, yeah, and he did.
and then
The wedding was pretty decent.
You got to keep in mind too that there's no canonology to this series. Is that
Oh, fuck.
something that
no, yeah.
happened? Something that happened 20 years ago.
Okay,
they can completely change 15 years
many
later.
Is there anything that you took away from this documentary that you did not know about before?
No,
I did not know that the Apu character was completely non-specific and was
Yeah.
and that he was only intended to be a one-time character.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
As far as I ever knew, he was always intended to be what he is, and that he was always intended to be a new character that would be ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, I'm not gonna lie.
What I actually, when they were talking about representation, that was my thing that I took away from it, because till this day we're still lacking in representation for different people. As diverse as America is, when it comes to our entertainment, we still are kind of stuck.
Actually,
and
there is something I want to mention.
yeah.
When he was talking to the different actors and actresses, and it was just, you have to do the thick accent, and it's...
The batanking. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, the guys are cab drivers and deli people, and the women are just the mothers that have to protect their kids. It's, we don't want to see any other diversity in your culture. I actually had a situation a couple of months ago. You can ask Jeff, you can ask Kyle, you can ask, well, you haven't known me as well. I will throw in little, Jewish words, like, oh, Mazel Tov, and I'll be half asleep and just sarcastically say Mazel Tov to something.
What does that actually mean?
Congratulations.
Oh, okay.
So I had gotten something at work. I'm like, oh, is this blank? No. Oh, well, Mazel Tov, I did their job. And I had someone actually say to me, if you have such a problem with people giving you a hard time because you're Jewish, maybe you shouldn't show it.
The fuck?
Now that right there is probably one of the most racist statements I've ever heard.
Oh, you can ask Jeff. I've kept because we work together, I've kept my mouth shut about a lot. I did not curse out this person for calling me a shyster, but I dropped it. I was holding him like, did you just fucking say what I think? What? Did you just tell me I have to hide my religion to make other people happy? Well, I'm just saying, no, it's not right that people have a problem with my faith. This is who I am and who I'm going to be. If you don't like that I say Mazel Tov, get the fuck used to it and keep your mouth shut.
I'll tell you a little addition to that after the podcast, but I don't want to say it on the podcast.
I got you.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, probably teenage years, I was followed in a store. Actually, it happened in our mall a few times.
Oh, God.
One time was at one of the entertainment stores. I'm not gonna say which one because I actually
But
like
it
them.
rhymes with JFE.
Yes. Yeah. So this was. I had just started really putting my anime collection together, and every other week my grandmother would come by, and I'd have some money put aside, and I'd go and get a tape. This is when they were still selling tapes. Since I couldn't afford DVDs at the time, DVDs were like $24.
Yeah.
$24 to $30, whereas a video cassette.
Like $10.
$10 to $20 for a DBZ tape. So which one do you think I'm gonna get? But they had so much because at the time they had such a huge collection and such a huge variety.
Now they're jammed in a corner.
Exactly.
Right.
That I was just looking around and I was
Julie just did her first trick off.
I was looking around and I was grooving to the music because it was some stuff I hadn't heard yet, unlike some stuff on the radio. But I digress. So I'm looking around and I'm going back and forth to like, should I get this or this? Should I get this or this? Apparently, and I didn't see this at the time, but my grandmother pointed out that somebody was actually watching me, and then they started looking like they were on their phone. So she made me hurry up because she saw the guy, and it's not the first time I've ever experienced that, but it was the first time. That was the first time I've experienced it where someone noticed it and then just...
I think if anything...
Were they trying...
I was talking.
I didn't hear.
So I have to start doing that with you. I think that's more of an age thing because my boyfriend and I were in that same store and we were browsing the wrestling
Sam
DVDs.
Goody?
Yes. Yes, Sam Goody. And so we caught this guy like repeatedly just watching us. Like, I'd go from the wrestling section to the anime section, he would be like keeping an eye on me. And I think it just might be like because of the town we live in.
No, I don't think so because it's happened to me more often than not.
Yeah, I've even had some friends who are...
In that specific store?
Not that specific store, but in stores in that mall.
Well, it's been mainly... It was just mainly FYE, like, I'll go to Hot Topic and everyone...
Well, Hot Topic ain't but that big. You can't really take shit like. I mean,
Well, Spencer's is kind of is a little bigger now, but they're freaking fabulous, just polite and friendly. And
Right.
I was looking for something like, oh, well, we don't have this, but here, this might be good.
But here's the funny thing. I remember trying to get a job at Hot Topic, and one of our friends said, "No offense, but you don't look like a Hot Topic person. You look more like an Old Navy person." And I was like, okay, so I signed up, signed the application anyway. But I was like, Old Navy, what the heck does that mean? But then when I discovered that, Hot Topic is trying to, at the time, not so much anymore, but at the time, was trying to reach a certain demographic of people. They were looking for the ones with the tattoos. They were looking for the
I was
ones
16 and I wasn't their demographic.
They were looking for the ones with the earrings. They were, because that's part of their.
That's how they used to be. Where Hot Topic was. Now it's basically fandom. The store.
Exactly.
But I had the jet black hair, the gothic makeup, the fishnet stockings, the fishnet tops.
Did you try to go for it? You try to get a job there?
Didn't want me.
They probably. That's not.
I couldn't get a tattoo at 16. I wanted one, but I couldn't get one.
And one time I was asked where my last name came from, and I didn't. Well, okay. This was only a few years ago. I was trying to get a job at Target. And one of the managers that was interviewing me, he asked me where my last name came from. You're not supposed to ask that during an interview. I just told him it's Cape Verdean. I had no idea that's what he was asking me for. And let's not forget that they still ask you on certain applications what your ethnicity is for statistical reasons. I honestly believe that they should get rid of that.
I do too.
But
I tend to put other.
A friend of mine online was like, put white and see what they're gonna say.
Oh, that's funny that you say that, because there are some Cape. I don't know how much anymore, but there are some Cape Verdeans that think they are white.
Actually, I was filling out a job application. I was doing it through my phone. I've screwed up to the point of I will press a button saying that I'm allowed to work in the United States, and my phone will say I'm not able to work in the United States. But I thought I clicked Caucasian, and it turned out it said I was black. The second I walked in there, they didn't want to hire me.
Wow.
It was the gas station down the street from me.
So
They didn't want to hire you because you said you were black and you.
I didn't do it on purpose.
But why does it matter
You could
whether you're
have just
black
been
or
high
not?
yellow. I mean,
because unfortunately.
But what if you were black? Would they have said okay?
you could just be light skinned black.
Exactly. See,
beg to
for-
differ.
That's
No,
what-
no, listen.
You could definitely pass.
Listen, there are a bunch of
Yeah,
people
we'll
out there.
my ass. We'll see how far I pass.
But
No.
there are people that are white and are descended from black people.
Dude,
That
We
makes-
have relatives that are her complexion.
Exactly. That makes them biracial.
But still, my thing is,
you
why
can
would
do that all you want. I'm 100%.
my thing though is, why would they see that she marked black on the application and be like, come on down for an interview? Then they see she's white. Nope, go on.
it could be, oh, well, she's lying. It could be. What was that woman's name that she was white but said she was black?
I don't remember
Rachel
her name, but I know who you're
Fuck
talking
that
about.
bitch, by the way.
That she's a transracial. Oh, that! I wanted to kick her in the face. I don't advocate. But I should have said that, 'cause I don't advocate violence towards
I do.
women.
No,
Well, then you can kick her in the fucking
With
face.
pleasure.
no, I cannot believe that.
Well, you know what? Then I am trans financial.
I am trans financial.
I am a poor.
I'm
I'm a
trans
rich.
age. I am genetically 29, but I act more like I'm 15.
Jesus Christ, no, Jeff. There are laws against that shit.
Well, only if he's trying to fuck a 15-year-old. Like, he knows better.
I would never do that.
No, I met a guy who I turned 20 at that time. And I'm like, yeah, it's my birthday. I'm 20. No, you're 16. 16-year-olds are hot. How old are you? 27. Get the fuck away from me!
Oh, man.
I ended up having a sore.
But I got candy
It was
in
the
my
convention that
windowless
you saw me
bag.
at, where I was
You're
keeping.
terrible.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
no,
Don't you
it-
want to see my puppy, little girl?
That can't get me in a car, actually, but that's another story. I had a customer yesterday bring out his little dog. I'm like, oh, I gotta pet this cute little pup. He was so little and cute, and his tongue was hanging out, and I wanted 20 of them.
There was a cute little dog at the vet today.
Oh.
He had a Christmas themed cast because one of his legs was
Poor
broken.
baby.
But he's just sitting there going like this.
You know, if my dog keeps up,
I think the documentary, while it was not while it was serious, but also made fun of itself at the same time. With stereotypes, I think because we can never truly get rid of them, I think
You just still shouldn't enforce them or
you
act
can't.
upon
You
them.
can't enforce.
There's
Exactly.
another thing. I don't know if you guys have seen the Tumblr picture where there was a little girl in full geisha gear or a geisha outfit,
Never seen that.
and it's
I'm
like
not a Tumblr guy.
someone's like, you need to teach your daughter that this is wrong, and someone's like, no, you need to teach your daughter that this is right. It's cultural appropriation. No, she's showing respect. I'm all like we were saying with the woman that was transracial. It's fine to appreciate someone else's culture.
Was the little girl in the picture Asian though in the geisha?
No, she was a white girl, but she had the traditional makeup, the traditional dress.
But maybe she just liked that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And
Maybe it wasn't her trying
There
to be
are
like,
times
I am
where-
Asian now.
No,
There are
it's-
times where people just take it way too far.
There are those social like back in June, that woman who sat there. And
Oh, tell that story, please.
oh Jesus.
Yes, because I'm
please-
not 100% sure. What
please
the
tell-
Chester Bennington story.
Please tell that
All
story.
right, yeah, you can-
Please tell that
Okay.
story. You have the floor.
Oh Jesus. There was a person, I cannot remember her name right now.
We discussed this on our channel.
Paula something. She had posted that you should not mourn for Chester Bennington because he had stolen black culture, and that the only way she will mourn him is if he committed suicide out of guilt, and just all this really nasty, horrifying stuff. And it's like, this is a person, this is a son, this is a husband, this is a father.
How the hell did he appropriate black culture? He
Apparently-
wasn't even rapping on the albums.
Yeah,
And
it's
apparently, because rock music is apparently grounded from African roots. Is
You didn't
what
know
she was
that?
trying to say.
Well, it's not
That's
fair.
something I didn't know.
It is a thing.
Wait, you seriously didn't know that?
I didn't know that,
He
but
was-
that's what
He was a
that's
very-
what she was getting at.
He
Yeah.
was a very sheltered child.
But so I couldn't help it. It's like, this is someone I looked up to. This is someone that I grew up with. I heard him in the 7th grade, and I'm 29 now. So I just said, I really think this is inappropriate. Fuck off, you white bitch. Sweetheart, you're white too. No, I'm not. Bitch, you're as white as I am. Your cosplay is a disgrace. You're appropriating another culture. I'm cosplaying Bolin,
Which is from an American cartoon.
where they're given.
Well, yeah, but
nationality.
very heavily inspired by.
To be
different
fair,
Asian
though,
cultures.
his costume I think was kind of inspired by Asian culture.
A lot of that series.
To
is
be
inspired
fair,
by
also
Asian
to be
culture.
fair, but Republic City is a melting pot.
Exactly.
But so, and then it's like, I'm looking at this person. They are white, male to female, transgendered, which nothing against. But they're also a cosplayer and had a cosplay page. She then told me that Linkin Park was mom music, or music for housewives.
What the
My mom-
fuck?
Huh?
My mom likes only one of their songs.
What kind of fucking new age mom is? Ugh.
Their song "What I've Done" is the only song I showed my parents that they like. The other songs, my dad's like, "Oh, why does he have to be screaming?"
My mom took
That
me.
ruins the song.
My
My
mom
mom
took me
doesn't
to a
like
Linkin
screaming
Park
either.
concert.
There's nothing wrong with that, but
She
there-
likes
there's-
them.
Yeah, this is your mom like.
Was she headbanging with the El Canal
But-
up?
But
Fuck
it
yeah.
doesn't mean like how is that mom music though?
I don't. Well, I don't know. Were they young? How old or young was this person?
I think
See,
she,
like soccer moms driving,
I think she's like
headbanging.
about our age.
But
But like, she went further. She told me that like he deserved. And then I'm looking at her page, and she's like, "The police aren't going to protect me from this hate speech. I'm lucky they didn't rape me when I left the police station." I'm like, what you're fucking saying? And it's like she's telling me I'm like, I sat there in such awe. I'm like, please be a troll. Why are you such a pile of human garbage?
I can understand wanting to stand up for something. Definitely, I can.
But
at the same time, you have to really know what you're talking about.
Well, that has to also do with actually her Twitter got banned, her Pinterest got banned, her Facebook got banned, all blocked and locked.
Good.
I mentioned that to mention the geisha thing. It is fine to respect someone's culture. It's fine to check it out. It's fine to appreciate it.
We all like anime.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with appreciating a culture. If I were to say, oh, this is a part of my culture and it's a tea ceremony, by all means, tell me I'm a fucking asshole. If I'm holding a potato and saying this is my culture, I'm still being an asshole. But
But it is part of your culture. You're Irish.
it's a stereotype. But that's beside the point.
Hey, our people survived on potatoes after
No,
the
there was a
famine.
potato famine. Anyways,
Yeah, but that's
What
why
I'm
we
saying-
liked
They were very
potatoes.
picky. They don't want anything other than potatoes.
That's why we liked the potatoes.
but I love the corned beef. Give me a cow and let me destroy it. But anyways, America is a melting pot. It's not. I feel what Hank Azaria did is kind of appropriating this culture. He's pretending to be Hindu and he's almost mocking it with the voice.
It's not so much appropriating as it is he shouldn't be doing that accent to begin with. Because if it's appropriating, it'd be like going to Hank Azaria's house and he's have all this Hindu.
And he's always talking.
Yeah.
That would be like if he was always talking.
Sure.
In that
And he
accent.
had like Ganesha statues all over the place. And was
Like
doing
if he
all-
answers his phone, hello, this is Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
I think I was thrown off by the clip they showed where he was in a college doing a speech.
That was just wrong.
And
Yeah.
I really don't think he should have done that.
I agree
I was
with that,
probably
but
for
we don't
BMO at least.
we don't know the why he was speaking in that accent.
But he does so many other characters. I feel like it's not like
It could have been something that maybe he was asked by the school to do that accent, or maybe somebody
Possibly.
that
He
worked
could've-
at the
but
school.
Here's the thing.
That's
It
the
could
that's
easily-
the
he
only
should have
thing.
shut that shit down. So I mean,
Exactly.
it's not like
There's one thing. Okay, Jeff, ask me to say.
He could have done he could
Jeff.
have very well done that same speech in Mo.
Jeff.
Yeah, he could have done.
Look, here's my final argument. Ask me to say something racist.
say something racist.
Fuck off. See?
It's that easy.
Exactly.
All right, my niggas, let's get it. With that being said,
If I said the N-word, I know the two of you would beat the shit out of me.
no, we'd get our cousins and sisters to do it.
Just like if you guys said the K-word, I'd beat the shit out of you.
You can call me whatever racial slur you want.
No,
I'm not gonna care.
I'd probably
Pull all the racial
politely
slurs on me.
I'd probably politely sit you aside, ask you
Bitch
why
smack me.
ask you why you said it. Please ask you not to say it again because I
get the taser.
Because I have had friends of different. Shoot, I have had people that we know ask me certain questions like why do black people sag their pants? Not all of us. Not all of us
that
do
wasn't a white
that.
thing. That's a prison thing.
Now it's
Yeah.
no, I know, but it's
The only thing I
That's
see
crazy.
about that is why people wearing belts still have their pants.
That
sagged
shit,
down.
I don't get that at all.
I don't know.
I don't either.
But
I
The
don't
belt is supposed to stop the pants from sagging.
But the funny thing is, they'll have the skinniest jeans, sag pants. I feel like such an old like curmudgeon. Like they have the skinniest jeans.
Like, I've seen-
belts
Take
hanging
those
off
pants
their
up,
ass.
Sonny.
Look, I'm
They
sorry.
still have a belt showing their underwear. Come on.
No, it's even worse like when their
I
ass is
can
hanging out.
park my bike in that crap.
I hope I'm not too hasty in saying this, but I think we can all agree that the documentary was very eye-opening.
Oh,
I
definitely.
It was
agree with
it was
that,
eye opening. It was very well written, very well
Very
researched.
well,
Very
very
well
well done. You got some laughs in, but it also made you think.
It also showed it's not all in his head. It's look at all these other actors that have been affected by Apu.
Yeah,
All these people that have been affected by Apu.
right. It really, I hope that one day that America, as diverse as we are, can actually will actually be able to show it one day. And I think
Not with
Not
Trump.
as long as the deep south
You know
is
what?
still a thing.
but I
You know
think
what?
And with Cheetos and
But you know what could help though? If they introduce another character with a similar background to Apu.
They did.
Like,
They did,
like
his nephew.
Yes, but if they introduce another character like that and make him a regular character as regular as Apu.
to offset the
To sort
show
of be
that-
like, okay, this Apu is kind of the older generation that was born and raised in that other country and came over here. That's why they have the culture. That's why they have the accent. But then you got the new generation that is descended from them, but that's why they don't have the accent.
Well, let's really look into this. Let's say the way Apu acts is tanking. This is what he thought he had to do to stay safe. Because face it, people like
You know what? That would be a great remedy for it. Like
That-
he just did that
that
just to,
actually-
and then like
Yeah.
like next season or whatever, he's like, okay, I don't have to do this voice anymore.
yeah, I can be myself. I can, but at the same time, he does have like Ganesha out.
Well, just because he has Ganesh doesn't mean he has to patank the whole time.
True.
Yeah.
It's also, you know what, this
That's
is
just his religion. Like
Yeah.
people that are Catholic Christian, they have crosses in their house. They're not. Well, I guess
I'm
that's
not walking
bad
around
thing.
going like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like they don't have just because that's.
I don't remember what the Jewish.
I don't
You
say
did the
grace
Star of
before
David.
every meal.
I remember the opening
Wait,
prayer for eating, but
the
that's
Jewish
about it.
people is the Star of David. You got like 6 points.
that's a different.
No, you do, don't you? Like
Yeah.
The Star of David is a 6-pointed
points.
star.
Yeah, I kind of suck. I can do a pentagram, but I can't do a 6-point. I can't do a star.
Uh-oh.
Pentagram, pentacle. I can do a pentacle. Pentacle is right side up. That's a good thing.
Wait,
Pentagram is equal.
let's just clear this up. You said pentacle, right?
Yes, I meant pentacle.
Okay.
She said pentagram originally.
But
No, I thought you
that's
said
'cause
I think you're saying testicles wrong.
It sounded like she said tentacle. Hey, thank you guys for joining me. and definitely be back on soon for more projects. Please let us know what you guys thought of the Problem with Apu and the whole Hank Azaria thing. If you've seen it, if you have not, I highly recommend it.
Definitely.
Highly recommend watching it again. I would highly recommend teaching a class on it. Just please, before anyone says anything about anyone else, know what you're talking about, please.
Please.
And also, don't be afraid to ask questions. Peace, love, and never be normal.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Toodaloo.
Pip, pip.